We talked earlier in the show about these new numbers out today from the New York Times showing that the immigration surge over the past few years has been the largest in U.S. history under President Biden. States like Texas, officials have been spending billions of dollars trying to slow the number of migrants who cross the border illegally. And we have one sheriff here from Texas talking about all of that. That Cleveland Jones is, Tarrant County, Texas, a former Border Patrol agent as well. So a lot of different perspective on all of this. I'm going to circle back to those New York Times numbers in a moment. I know one of the things on timing, you go from one administration to another, is that you think there's already an impact from Trump having won and being president-elect. Are you seeing that, and where specifically?
Howdy, Connell. Good to be back with you. And most certainly we are. You know, he was elected president and hit the ground running, from having Tom Homan, you know, named the border czar, to Rodney Scott, who's a good friend of mine. We worked in Nogales, Arizona together, and up in Washington, D.C. at Border Patrol headquarters together. He's going to be the commissioner of CBP, and then Caleb Vitello being there in charge of ICE. So some key players in place, and we've already seen with having a strong leader in the White House, such as President Trump before, when he sent the message that you're not going to cross our borders illegally. Yes, you'll still have some try, but you don't have the masses like we've had over the last.
So you've seen some. So the numbers or the movement. So there've been some changes already. Are people leaving, for example? Is that what you're saying, or just fewer people coming in?
No, we're not seeing the numbers coming in. We have seen an increase pick up back in Eagle Pass, which is about 2 hours downriver from us.
Okay.
You know, they have between 100, 200 a day. We have seen an uptick in those, and that was kind of anticipated because we know once the transition takes place that the border is going to be more secured. And when I say more secured, President Trump will put back in the migrant protection protocol that keeps those that are seeking asylum, those that are being allowed in the United States, in Mexico until they can have their asylum hearing.
All right, let me get in now to those New York Times numbers that I led in with about how many entered from 21 to 23, early days of the Biden administration. Immigration surge was the largest in history in those years under Biden. 2.4 million people per year. You see the way it charts out there. So what would you say about that? We talk about how it come down, you know, at the tail end a little bit when the asylum laws changed, but at the beginning it was crazy.
Well, so first of all, you know, with the newspaper there, the New York Times, saying that finally it's admitting that there's been this massive increase in you know, apprehensions at our border. What makes them the authority? We've been saying it, myself, Rodney Scott, Chris Clem, Ron Vitello. You know, all of us have worked in Border Patrol. I've been saying this for the last 3.5 years. And this administration, to that point that you made, this administration acted, about 6 months ago, to finally put some policies in place to keep some of those asylum seekers out of the United States. But with that being said, what they actually did was they ran an end around, if you will. They started increasing those numbers at the ports of entry through the CBP One app, and then they continued to use the CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela program to fly those who would not normally receive citizenship in the United States.
So, so you're arguing it was misleading, even though at the end? Yeah, obviously everybody knows the beginning, like the big surge was what it was, what's been reported. They've tallied it up now and said it's the largest we've ever seen. But you're saying at the end the numbers were, in your view, misleading?
Connell, most definitely. Again, in between the ports of entry, counties like mine here on the border, we saw a bit of a downtick. We're starting to see a bit of an uptick, but even though those apprehensions have been lowered in between at the ports of entry, people being allowed to come in, 100%, those numbers aren't being reported accurately.
Interesting. All right, Sheriff, thank you for coming on again, obviously, as we have been. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.